Our recording. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Habits of Health class Tuesday night. My name is Rick Green. I am a certified health coach, and tonight I've got a couple of special presenters. Mayla Crawford, who is a certified health coach as well, and Nicholas Drake. And Nicholas is going to give us a little bit of information on his journey. And Nicholas, if you can, I'm going to go ahead and start your screen share here, and I see this picture that's, of you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what this has meant for you?
Sure. Yes, thank you for having me. So my wife and I were searching for a way to take control of our health, and we had tried diets, and we just didn't have much success. Well, then we saw some friends of ours who were having success with Take Shape. And so we decided to look into that. And we started our journey March of 2014. And I actually started the journey just thinking I would just go along for the ride. I would be there to kind of support her and help her with weight loss. And I didn't realize how out of control my own weight and my own health was until I stepped on the scale for the initial weigh-in. I saw the number and I had a different number in my head, and they didn't match. So the number on the scale was much higher. And I had also started this journey with a diagnosis of high blood pressure and high cholesterol that dated back to when I was 19. So I had been working with that, trying to figure that out, how to get that down for almost 20 years when I started the program. So long story short, I didn't think I would be able to get control of the blood pressure except for with medication at that point. In the picture on the left, that's me struggling with high blood pressure. So long story short, 5 months into the program, I get down 60 pounds. My wife gets down about 50 pounds. We feel great. We have way more energy. I go to my doctor at around the 5-month mark, and I get cleared to get off of my blood pressure medicine, to get off of my cholesterol medicine. I actually heard the nurse say that my blood pressure was textbook. She said it was 120/80, and I never thought that I would hear those numbers in relation to my blood pressure. So I actually cried in the doctor's office because I didn't think I would ever hear that. I just thought it would kill me. And I got control over it. So I found out I love exercise. I'm circuit training now. I'm strength training, and I don't get exhausted. And all of those benefits. And I think the biggest one is around the 5-month mark, we discovered my wife was pregnant when we were on this journey. And this is I might get emotional talking about this because it's hard, but we'd been trying for years to get pregnant and had no success. And I firmly believe that through this program is what allowed us to have healthy bodies and for her to carry and deliver this beautiful baby girl that we had 5 months ago. And I am just thrilled about that. And I became a health coach because I want other people to experience these freedoms, and I just want to pay it forward. So, and I appreciate your time and letting me share.
Absolutely. That's a wonderful story. I think that's a great story, and congratulations on your little one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I also have Marla Crawford here, who is a certified health coach, and she's going to give us the presentation tonight with the Habits of Health. We are now on week 2. So Marla, I'm going to go ahead and start the screen share with that. And would you like to go ahead and give us the presentation this evening? Marla, let me go ahead and unmute you. Go ahead. You're on.
Thank you, Rick. Nick, that was a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that. Amazing. Last week, Joanne did a great job in sharing how habits shape who we are and what we're doing. This week, again, I'm going to welcome you to our Habits of Health class. We're talking about motivation for change and the power of real choice. these classes are very motivational to me. And I love the added support that we are able to have by being here and being able to learn from each other. And I truly believe that that's what we do. Dr. A's Habits of Health and his companion guide, Living a Longer, Healthier Life, are the two books that we are using for these lessons that we're doing. Tonight we're doing chapter 3 and chapter 5. Getting healthy and staying there can be very challenging. And we have busy lifestyles. We're surrounded by junk food. People have parties all the time. They bring food to work. It might be candy. It might be things that you're just not wanting to be around. But face it, life happens every day, and every day we're faced with choices to be made. And food companies are well aware of this, and they can make it very difficult for us by making the food taste so good. We all face challenges daily, and our goal is to help you to have tools and learn from them so that you can be mindful of the choices, so that you can navigate this journey and life will be a bit easier for you. So that's one of the things we want to go over tonight. The books that you can get from Dr. A, they actually help you to understand how to create what we want. And they give us a map and a plan. And again, chapters 3 and 5 are the ones that we're going to work on. Chapter 5 helps you get a clear picture really of where you are currently and your current reality. And it's a vital piece in moving forward. And with this, you can see where you are, where you want to be, and then any obstacles that may or may not be in your path. And knowing that can then help move you forward with choices that you're going to make. And we learn from those obstacles so that we don't make that same mistake again if it helps us to learn from that. So these lessons have been very helpful to me. And it helped me to actually see that it's much more than a diet. It's not, we're not out here for a diet. We have a full lifestyle. Dr. A's quote, I love this one. Most of us have been raised to react to circumstances. We haven't been taught to believe that we can adopt a fundamental self-generated resolve. But in fact, that is how we take charge of our lives, by realizing that no matter the circumstances, no matter the temptation, we can do what we know is right, because we have taken a stand for the choice that we hold most important. Fundamental choices are what we hold most dear, the things that what we want to be happy, what kind of outcome do you want? We look at, this is where we make decisions. We get plugged into our health coaches, the tools and the resources that are provided for us, because it is knowing truly what we want. Now the motivation factor, think about it, what is it that you really want? Why do you want to change? When you're looking at it from a conflict-driven motivation or problem-solving way, we're thinking in terms of trying to fix our health, what we're against, common causes of yo-yo diets. This is something that results because you want to fix the problem. If you're looking at it from a desired outcome or outcome-oriented, you're thinking in terms of creating your health, and knowing what you want is going to be key in this aspect, in this form of motivation. It's what we're for. Changing it from what we're against to actually what we are for. This is what I want to achieve. And it's more looking at it from a long-term purpose, knowing that it's a journey that we're on. And then it helps you to deal with things. Both factors have predictable outcomes, and you just have to decide which one do you want to participate in. Do you want to participate in the conflict-driven one, which can result in a yo-yo, maybe putting you on that merry-go-round that you can't get off? Or do you want to look at ways that you can create that outcome that you're looking for and have a long-term impact? So, problem-solving versus desired. First of all, you may have a problem. Maybe you're overweight. Maybe you're overly tired. Maybe there's a lack of energy, or have high blood pressure, diabetes problems, high cholesterol, high sugar. This is where it starts. When these are big motivators, and they have been emotional ties, and they're conflict-driven or problem-solving. They're intensely emotional. So you decide, we have to fix this. So what do? You take some action steps and you decide, well, maybe I'll go to the gym for a while, and maybe I'll watch what I'm eating. So you plan this diet, you plan this going to the gym, because you've got to fix that problem. It's got to be taken care of. And it's just so intense. If I don't fix this, I could die. Maybe your doctor has said this is a problem, and if you don't fix it, this is going to be your outcome. So maybe there's some fear in there too. So then you take that action, and people start noticing those results. You've lost a little weight, you've had some improved health, you've seen some better numbers on the scale, you've seen better numbers on your sugar glucometer, maybe you've got blood pressure that's coming down. So hey, you're starting to feel pretty good. I can do this, I've got this. And people start saying, hey, oh my goodness, you look great. Wow. So then, you start feeling a little better. Hey, I do feel better. And hey, I do look better. And oh my goodness, my health is improving. So all these problems are improving. So what happens? If you think about it, I brought this rubber band. It's a big one. You've got this really tight tension when you're starting, okay? Because I've got to get there. I've got to get there. I've got to get there. Well, as people start coming and you're getting better, that band gets flimsy. And so what happens, we take less action because we don't have that force saying, go get it. So we've slowed down, the action has stopped, and then we go, yeah, I could have a cake with Katie because it's her birthday. I don't want to miss her birthday. It only comes once a year. I could have that cake. Or, oh, my friend brought this to work, and I really need that because I don't want to hurt her feelings. Do you hear some patterns here? The old behaviors are starting to return. So you've let down your guard. And so what happens generally when you let down your guard and those old behaviors come back, you start to yo-yo. And we're going in this vicious cycle that starts over and over and over again. So you get back over here, you're overweight again, and most of the time when this occurs, your blood pressure's back up, your blood sugars are back high, maybe the cholesterol's out of whack, and you might be in worse shape than when you started originally. And this is consistent with yo-yoing. And so if you're thinking about it, all those emotions are tied into that. It's okay to start here. But what we want to do is to help you break that cycle so that you're not completely going into yo-yo and reversing. And how we do that is focusing on your desired outcome. And what you're looking at here is a structural tension chart. So you have your goal and your desire. You have to know what you want. When I asked you a while ago, what is it that you want? What does that look like? Okay? Now thinking about what you wanted, if you look down here at the current reality, Chapter 5 has a wonderful health assessment that Dr. A has put together for you so that you can see where you are currently. And sometimes it's really difficult for us to take a really close look at where we are currently. Like Nick said so elegantly, he didn't know that he weighed what he weighed when he stepped on that scale. It was totally different than the number that was in his mind. And I know he's not alone in that because I've been there myself. And I'm sure a lot of people listening have too. It's being able to be honest with yourself and really take account into everything that is going on right now. Take that current reality picture, no matter where you're at, whether it's in maintenance, whether it's weight loss, wherever you are in your journey, knowing, hey, this is where I'm at right now. Because that's going to be key in order to move to the next step, to get to your goals. Okay, so when you know where you're at, then you can set your goal. Okay, let's give you an example. So say we're at 200 pounds and we want to be at 180. So I know I need to make that goal. I'm going to write down in my area where I'm doing the goals, I want to go to 180. So I want to lose 20 pounds. Now I need to make sure that goal is realistic. You don't want to say I'm going to lose it by next week. I mean, a lot of us would like to lose it by next week, but it's not going to happen. So you put a time base on that. It needs to be measurable. Okay, so it's 20 pounds that you're measuring that you want to lose, and you want to have it off, let's say at 2 to 5 pounds a week the first 2. Let's give it a couple of months that you want to have it 8 to 10 weeks. And so you put that date so that you can break it down into action steps that need to occur. This goal is your primary choice. You're optimally healthy. You want to be at 180. You've given a realistic time frame. You've measured it so you know how much it is that you want to lose. And it's specific. It's 20 pounds. So you want to make sure on that desire. So say you want to also, in doing this, you want to increase your activities. So you're looking at, okay, what do I need to do? I've got these little lines. You're probably wondering, what are those? Well, this is where we put our secondary choices in. And then on a secondary choice, this is actually the step that, yeah, you know you need to do it, but it's not always something that you want to do. And so if we go ahead and do them anyway, it's going to help us move forward. One of my favorite quotes from John Maxwell actually says that you will never change your life until you change something that you do daily. And the secret of your success is found in your daily routine. So on those secondary steps that you're looking at, these are things that you're going to put in daily to help you achieve that goal. And it's something that you can check off. So like if you're putting in your daily steps, it might be taking, if you're on 5 and 1, you're going to be making sure that you're taking 5 meals daily and that you're having 1 lean and green daily. You're going to want to ensure that you have your water intake. And these are all things that you can check off as a choice. They're secondary. And maybe you've started exercise. So you're going to do the exercise that you will do. Because if it's not one that you are willing to do, you're not going to see the results, right? And it takes to do that, to actually make those steps happen. And sometimes there's some that don't feel so good when you're doing them, but without them, it doesn't help you get from the current reality you're facing now to the outcome that you're wanting to create. And that's what we're doing here with this structural tension chart. This is something that you have your goal and you have your current reality, and then you're going to fill in the blanks working with your coach or someone that cares about you, that you can work together to set up steps that are going to help you reach the goals in the time frame that you're wanting to achieve them. And they can also talk to you about if this is actually a realistic goal. So those are things that you want to do. With your choices, there's 3 types of choices. You have your primary choice, secondary choice, and a fundamental choice. The primary choice, again, is maybe your goal, what you're looking to achieve. So you're wanting to be optimally healthy. This is something that you want to work towards. Okay, again, the secondary choice are the steps that it's going to take to support your primary choice of being healthy. You know, we can make different choices, but whether it's going to move us towards our primary choice or away from it is up to us to be mindful to choose. So those secondary choices, again, are ones that maybe you don't want to do but need to do. One of my favorite illustrations was one that Dr. A talked about, was if you want to be a musician that knows a classical pianist that is just world famous, what do you have to do? You have to practice in order to get better. And practicing is a secondary choice. Now, some days you may come home and not want to practice. Excuse me. But if you don't do the practice, you don't get the end-term goal that you're looking for. So back here, if you're looking at this structural tension chart as it's posted, this talks about the current reality. Person has already reached their weight. They're at their healthy goal. They're walking. So their ultimate goal of optimal fitness is they want to be fit with great aerobic stamina, 14% body fat, have lean muscle, plenty of flexibility and agility, and the ability at 55 to do all the things that you could do at 25. And actually, I believe this was Dr. A's structural tension chart. Excuse me, just 1 minute. So these are pretty clear and precise goals. You can picture that, right? What you want to do is to be able to visualize that goal and make sure it's something that you really want. When you're thinking about what you want, what does it want to look like? What do you want it to feel like? Is it something you can taste? Is it see? You want it to be crystal clear. And because it's got to be strong enough and enough things that you're wanting to reach for that makes you want to move into action. Because if it's not strong enough to move you into action, chances are you won't get there. That's where the structural tension comes in, using, again, those secondary choices to get you there. The secondary choices to get him to be fit in 14%. He needs to do weight resistance training twice a week. He wants to do light calisthenics and lightweight lifting beginning in month 2, stretching daily, walking 30 minutes a day beginning in week 3, walking 10 minutes a day for 2 weeks. And we start from the bottom up, and I read from the top down. But anyway, this is what we do. And you have your primary choice of adding muscle. That's what he wants to do. And the foundational of the component there is to have an active lifestyle. And it sounds to me like it's pretty active when you're putting that plan into place. And it's not putting it, it's in doable sections so that you move it up one step at a time. And then you have your optimal fitness goal. So based on what he's doing here, he's going to reach that goal as long as he does the choices, chooses choices that will continue to get him there. And again, the secondary choices are ones that you want to ensure that you're getting them done. So one way to help you do this is with stop, challenge, and choose. And you want to stop and think about it. If you're going through the line, back to thinking about all these things that can happen during the day, life happens. You are abounded with challenges that come up. And maybe you've had a really stressful day at work. It's been a rough day, and you're just tired, and you're ready to get home to the family, and you're just like, I'm just going to pick up pizza. And so your car tries to do a 180 into the pizza line. If you stop when that feeling comes upon you and think it, just take a deep breath, center yourself, and you think about it. What have I already accomplished? Why am I feeling this way? I'm already down 20 pounds. I'm halfway to my goal. Why am I doing this? Is this what I want? If I have this pizza, is this going to help me get to my goal, or is it going to give me a setback? And is that a choice that I can live with? So you challenge yourself with those questions. And then that way you've suspended that action of immediately, without thinking and not being mindful, to drive in to get the pizza. And you've questioned, and now you became mindful, and it's like, well, you know, I have lost 20 pounds, and I'm only 20 pounds away from my goal. What am I doing? I don't think I'm going to do this. I'm going to go home, we're going to have a decent meal, and I can still rest and get that good night's sleep. So you suspended the action, you became mindful, and now you choose that decision. Do I want the pizza, or do I want to continue towards my goal? And hopefully, optimally, you would be choosing to continue towards your goal. You know, we are human, so if you aren't able to make that choice and you don't feel able to do it, just make sure that you get back on plan immediately after. I mean, it's not the optimal choice. This is one of the things I tell my coaches. This is a 911 call to your coach. So if you have a health coach, give them a 911 call, because they're there for you. And I'm sure they'll either answer a text or they'll answer a phone, and they'll be right there to help you through this. Harnessing habits is so important. It's important to know that the choice is yours and yours alone. You know, you see all these pictures of the fork made me fat or the spoon made me fat. It didn't bend your elbow. It's our choices. So thinking about that, you can make those choices, the secondary choices, to get you to your primary goal. And a tool that I love, the structural tension tool, you have an ability, you can download it, and Habits of Health Connection, you can pull out the structural tension chart and work with your coach to do that. And also on habitsofhealth.net, so you can pull it from both of those locations. You want to make choices that support the desire that is most important to you. And why it's important is key to what you want. And you want to make sure that you take the time, 30 minutes or so, and just really know what it is that you want to achieve. And again, make it clear so that you have the outcome to be happy. And have you made your fundamental choice to be healthy and happy? Have you set your goals to be optimally healthy? Check with your coach, and they'll be happy to help you. on choices also, and lesson 6 and 7. Read through it and talk it over with your coach, and share with them what you find to be the most valuable in your journey. They'd love to hear from you. And we look forward to celebrating with you next week.
All right. So I think as it is, Mayla, that we've identified a couple of things, and in particular, one tool that is very, very, very important, and is the stop, challenge, and choose. And I think you can use this in just about every day in every aspect of your life, as far as you know, making those choices and making the decisions that are going to, you know, forward your health, so that you can choose the optimal outcome. Just as Nick had made his decision, he couldn't quite figure out what was going on with his health, but he had learned through the program that stopping, choosing, or challenging and choosing the choices in the everyday lifestyle is actually helping him further his health as you know, from now on. And I think that we really need to look at what our triggers are, what our negative feelings are, why we're having an unhealthy environment, and stop there, and then just go ahead and kind of analyze, you know, what we really want. And that's where we really want to look at is if this choice that we're faced with is really going to improve our health or set us backwards. And so this particular slide, I think, is very, very, very important. Now, as you had mentioned, we do have the structural tension chart available in the Habits of Health connection. And if anybody wants to look at the habitsofhealth.net, there's also structural tension charts on Dr. A's websites as well. So with that, I think we covered it pretty well. Next week, we're going to be looking at Chapter 4 in the Habits of Health. And of course, our workbook assignment would be lessons 6 and 7. It's all about the choices that we make. There is a DVD series, but what we really want to look at is learning the difference between primary, secondary, and fundamental choices, organizing our daily choices around what really matters most, and of course, learning how to create and personalize the structural tension chart. That is on page 31 in the workbook. And then we're going to, through this series, learn how to apply our primary and secondary choices for our life so that we can obtain the optimal health. Do you have anything else to add there, Mayla?
I think I just love this chapter. When you get it down, this is something that can move you to your goals and through. And the structural tension is one of my favorites because I use it not only for my health, but for everyday life. I mean, I use it in exercise. I use it for bill paying. It keeps me focused, and it's a great way to have a structured way to move forward.
I think it's great, and thank you very much for stopping by in our Habits of Health class tonight. This is going to be recorded, and it will be presented on the Habits of Health Connection, as well as a YouTube series that we have. So if you would like a copy of tonight's presentation, or if you would like to review these, they will be available. And we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule and stopping by and learning a little bit more about healthy habits and the Habits of Health series. I'd like to thank you for your participation tonight, and hopefully everybody has a great evening. Thanks again. Good night.
Good night.